to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and so we're going to check out the latest episode of Inside Star Citizen. I believe that a lot is going to be covering the new patch coming up at the end of this year, Star Citizen FR 3.16. So here we go. Let's check out first a segment about gadgets, and I believe that there's going to be a spring report that's going to be very interesting for what's about to come. Oh yeah, having a look here at gadgets. Looks like this is MiG L1.
Resource collect.
Now look at that. That's very interesting. Yeah, to deposit those new mining gadgets, you are going to have to leave your prospector, which of course is going to leave your ship extremely vulnerable, right? Because anyone will be able to sneak behind if there are people around. So you're gonna have to really make sure that you are alone if you are under attack. Let's say some pirate ships are coming from behind, or they just spotted you several kilometers away and they're coming for you. You are still also not going to be able to evade. So that is perhaps going to be coming with some escort gameplay maybe, or orgs are going to have to be banding together in order to prevent those accidents from happening. I like what I'm seeing already.
In various forms, like mining, for example. It's not necessarily a fun job to do in a game. This is where always with mining we've had this approach of like, no, this needs to be fun. Like every part of it, there needs to be fun. There needs to be a challenge. You need to have a risk involved. There needs to be something that doesn't.
There we go, just like what I was saying. And I absolutely like this approach of making mining fun. As far as I'm concerned, I've never liked resource gathering in except from RTS games, but in like an FPS game or a game in which I embody a character within a game universe, I've never liked resource gathering. I've always wanted to be in the action, and the fact that mining itself in Star Citizen is some kind of action, that where there's always something happening, is already making this profession, this activity, far more attractive than in any other game. And I think that the devs, the team behind this gameplay loop has done an amazing job, and I'm quite excited about what's coming up here with those mining gadgets. It's definitely going to make the profession specialize even more. You're going to have to need to be even more knowledgeable when it comes to doing this profession. And I like the idea of professions being so specialized that, you can try, of course, to do those professions, but if you don't exactly know what you're doing, you are not going to be as effective as someone who is more professional. Like the idea that there's no leveling in the game, you level with your own experience.
And we hit the errand belt to look for
nice base, by the way.
We stumbled over the problem that with a proper setup of the prospector, it was not even possible to crack like the biggest stones.
In the previous updates, we kept adding more and more tools for the players to mine, and we also ramped up the difficulty of the mineable rocks. This presented us with a bit of a problem where, since we went more and more towards the multiplayer, mole experience, 2-3 prospectors working together, the problem became that single players kind of were unable to reach that content.
Yeah, that's true. We're talking about the continuum rocks here. If we talk about some of the, you can still find some laranite or hephaestanite, those, I would say, mid-high tier rocks are still available if you're a solo player. But if you're looking at very high content laranite, very high content agricium, or high content quantanium, then yeah, that is totally out of reach, and you're going to need other players to help you out. But not everybody has friends. That's something that I've always said for a very long time. Not everybody wants to play with other people. There are players who want to play alone. There's gotta be some solution for these people. It shouldn't be as easy as it is when you're playing with other friends, but there should still be a solution. More difficult, that would require more knowledge, more expertise, but still make it possible for those solo players to be able to make it. And I'm glad that those mining gadgets here are going to be able to help.
Being able to mine very hard rocks. So we figured out that there is a niche that we need to start catering towards. So whatever we did for single player needed to be harder and have harder, heavier risks involved. So this is where we came up with the idea of the mining gadget. The mining gadget allows the player to access those super difficult rocks, but it comes with an entry-level cost.
So obviously you're gonna have to pay for those, right? That makes sense. But it's what I always say. You have to spend money in order to make money. And sure, you may lose your, because you're gonna have to buy a couple of them. You'll have to store them in your ship inventory eventually. Well, what if you lose your ship? You lose all your gadgets, obviously. So that's the kind of risk that we're talking about here. Gotta have to be super careful. Do not blow up your ship. Do not blow up yourself. Otherwise, you're going to lose your investment. It's an investment that's going to allow you to make even more money.
It comes with an inherent risk, which is anyone can just come in, shoot you. They can come in and steal your ship. There's so many things that can happen.
Oh no. Why would anyone do that?
In total, we have right now 6 devices. So we have one, like the Bormex, that is for resistance reduction. We have the Sabia, which is for instability wave shift. It's a mix of resistance reduction and increasing the optimal charge window. We have the Okunis one, which is also for instability reduction and having the optimal charge increased. Then the Stalwart, its increased charge rate and also some moderate resistance reduction. And Optimax is for the optimal window increase and optimal charge rate increase.
So I would assume, again, I could be wrong, because in the past I used to assume that if you add up several mining attachments to your ship, then they would just add up as well and you'll have extra bonuses. That's not the case. But here I assume that if you have a mining gadget attached to a rock and also the mining attachments, then that should provide you with extra bonuses. That's what I hope. Otherwise, it just wouldn't make any sense. What would be the difference between that and a ship mining attachment, right? So that's what I really hope, is that you're going to have to equip your ship and you're going to have to put those gadgets on the rocks in order to be able to be mining the juiciest rocks that are there in the verse.
So part of the idea behind this was that, there's a conscious decision that you think, okay, this mining deposit has a lot of stuff I want. It's quite difficult to mine. I'm going to take a little bit of more time, go outside, and place this gadget.
Once you placed it, then you have to find the resonance of the stone that you just attached the device to.
Oh wow, so how's that gonna work?
It's our mini game, but it's a meaningful mini game.
It's kind of a small puzzle, aligning some slider bars with a wave.
Oh, that's cool.
If you get over a certain percentage, you can activate it.
There's a confirmation, so it starts blinking. That means that it's now functional.
So it's not going to work until you get to 95%-ish. If it's not, then you just place it, but it's not good. So you, on top of placing it, you also have to attune it, adjust it so that then it's functional. I like that. That's interesting. Plus, it's also going to be a time sink that is going to allow NPCs and other players to attack you too while you're busy doing that. So that's interesting.
You get back to your prospector and you do your mining process.
It's gonna put this effect on the rock until you destroy the gadget, you deactivate it, or the rock breaks apart. Right now we're really working on the animations and the art for it. It's gonna be a lot of work in progress.
I assume that they've been recording this a while back because, 3.16, as we're doing this video, it's November 5th. 3.16 is going to drop in the live in less than 2 months, or at least it should, right? Because usually the Q4 patch is dropping before Christmas. So if they're still working on animation, I think that they must have shot this video a while back already.
The miner player experience in the future, we are looking right now at ship refining and getting the Starfarer to be able to refine whatever the Prospector and Mole are harvesting right.
Oh, that's brilliant. Do you see that, guys? The Starfarer with not just refined Continuum and Cell Continuum, it's also going to be a mobile refining platform, and it will refine what the Mole and the Prospector are harvesting without having to go to a refining station, which again is going to is going to allow orgs that are more industrially oriented to work together to do the mining and the refining process before then selling the cargo. I love that, and finally that is coming to come to fruition. I believe that it's possible to do that now that iCache is out, and they really needed that technology to be able to do it, just like the inventory, for example. So it's good to see that now that this tiny little bottleneck is open, then we get more content in the game. That's good to see.
They're on the spot together with their mining buddies, and that's what we think will close that lovely gameplay loop of resource acquisition from mining.
Oh, good. And finally, they'll be able to move on to other gameplay loops, because they've been working on mining for quite some time, but it's time that we have other types of gameplay.
Mining gadgets.
Ah, there's Jared. Hey, Jared, nice haircut.
Line of expansions and improvements to the overall mining gameplay as the team continues bringing it up to what we consider a gold standard for other professions to follow. And you can look forward to working with them when they arrive in the upcoming Alpha 316.
Speaking of 316,
it's sprint report time, so let's get to it. Let's start things off this week with the world of in-game brand logos.
No, that's
a final pass was recently completed for the Mercenary Guild.
Okay,
and
cool.
Were sought to provide services that had normally been regulated by more official channels after humanity's first contact with the Xi'an and the subsequent war with the
I
Divine.
suppose that this guild is going to offer a
largest
reputation in the
mercenary
verse.
firms banded together to form the Mercenary Guild. Now, since then, they've helped protect their members from fraudulent companies and protected their rights to operate within UEE space. Now, among these options, it was the first one that was selected to enter the persistent universe.
Yeah, it should be this one, right?
Work also
Okay,
continues on the
here is
Drake
the...
Vulture,
Oh, wow.
entry-level salvage ship scheduled to come online sometime next year. Now,
Yeah,
currently
so sometime next year, we had a roadmap update. It's going to be 3.18. Now, I like how Jared says sometimes next year. Confirming again, caveat, guys, that the roadmap is not set in stone, right? These are tentative attempts. Of course, there still can be some delays. So when we're looking at 3.18 for salvage and the Drake Vulture, we could still looking at 3.19, which will be the next CitizenCon. So keep that in mind.
gray box phase, this is where the team looks to add as many signature Drake elements as they can, steering into the heavier, more brutalist aspects found in other Drake spacecraft. You can bet we're going to follow along with its progress as it continues over the next coming months.
Wow, this is looking fantastic. It's exactly like the concept. Very Drakey. It's actually bigger than I thought. What do you guys think? By the way, that's the giveaway question, because I've got a giveaway this month. Let's not forget about this spectacular giveaway. There it is, right? This month, I'm giving away a MISC Prospector. Speaking of mining gadgets, right? All you have to do is to subscribe to the channel and answer the giveaway question. I'm asking, what do you think of the progress made on the Vulture? I think that it looks much bigger than I thought. Quite excited about it, but let me know, are you excited about salvage gameplay? As I said, I'm not much of a resource collector, so not so much, but I'm always excited for more gameplay loops happening in the verse. Also, on Discord, if you're a Patreon or a John Bender member, there's an Aegis Retaliator. So, yeah, if you want to get a shot as well, any support over there is much appreciated. And every month we're trying to reward supporters of the channel like that. All right, guys. Well, let's continue and see what Jared has for us in this sprint report. This is so big. Looks like it's even bigger than the Cutlass.
Moving on over to the
Oh.
character team, members have taken a sprint to update some of the texture sets for the various inhabitants
So
of the
that's the old
persistent
one?
universe, both NPC
And the new one.
and player
Yeah, it
controlled
looks a
alike.
little bit less
The work is
plasticky,
subtle,
less
but by including
shiny.
a number of irregularities and imperfections throughout, it helps us achieve a greater sense of realism and expectation when engaging the
Yeah,
characters
it looks a little bit
you meet
older.
throughout your
Mhm.
journeys.
More wrinkles as well.
And the best part about all these is that the improvements aren't just for the NPCs you'll encounter, they'll also be used in the character creator
The old
once
one
they're
looked
deemed
better.
ready. And if you're wondering what happened to the eyebrows, me too. Turns out the team is looking to add customizable eyebrows to the character creator as well, so they'll no longer be baked into the face textures that you see here.
Oh, cool. Maybe we'll be
Now,
able to
as with
draw them
all things you
ourselves.
see on Inside Star Citizen, All of these are still a work in progress, but it's been a while since these faces got some love, and it's exciting to see their time on the development wheel come around again.
And that's
You
why
can
we
also
saw that in the
see here
roadmap
how they
again.
can
Yep.
come together with facial hair and scalp to form the best version of old Eckhart yet. Just look at Mama Miller's Mighty Man. Looking good, Phil. Speaking of the character
Oh
team,
my goodness,
I'm
what
gonna
is
sit
that?
quiet for a little bit and let you all take a look at the newest armor set coming to the Persistent Universe, the Queerness Tech Medium Armor.
Well, when is this coming? Hurston, is this coming in 316? Look at that, it's from Hurston Dynamics. Is this some kind of bounty hunting? Security, Hurston Security. Can we buy this, or is this lootable only? This is looking so badass. It definitely looks like a player we're looking at. It's not an NPC. Maybe these are the Hurston Security Special Forces. Oh my gosh. Now, if those are lootable, because the problem with lootables right now, when you're looting Hurston Dynamics armor, when you are stealing those and you are being scanned by security, apparently security thinks that you have stolen some items. So I hope that these are going to be rewards and not only lootable. Let's see what Jared is going to say. I'm not sure about the big circle behind the head though, that looks weird. I like the mini cape in the back and the Hurston Dynamics kind of patterns
As
as
for
well.
where you'll find it, try Hurston Security. And before you ask, yes, they'll be lootable.
Oh
Let's
yeah!
all rage against the machine, everyone.
But where? Where would they be lootable?
Those of you who watched the Pyro presentation at CitizenCon or Josh's in-depth tour of the pre-production process for
Alright
Outlaw
guys,
Space
well
Mission
that's pretty
on
much
last
it
week's Star
about what's coming up here in Star Citizen Alpha 3.16. I think that all the rest is going to be about those concept arts that we've seen in CitizenCon, a little update on those stations. Meh, not really interested in those. I prefer to see what's coming up in terms of gameplay from a much closer perspective. 3.16 is my cup of tea right now, and 3.15 is almost around the corner. Speaking of that, apparently it should be releasing very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that as well. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a live stream of 3.15 live in the PU. We'll have a from zero to hero type of gameplay videos and live streams, so be on the lookout for that one. And if you haven't subscribed or at least followed on Twitch, the link is in the description down below. That's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you guys a very wonderful day. Shout out to Eric Owen and Dr. Forbin for their awesome contributions on Patreon. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. A huge shout out to everyone who's been helping me out on Patreon and via the YouTube Joint membership program. Creating content on YouTube involves continuous circles of ups and downs, and it is when we are the lower parts of the curve that your help really motivates me to keep on going. Your contribution really does make a difference, which is why in return I try to give back by offering backers access to my private Discord channel, automatic access to exclusive giveaways, or answering your questions during the show. You can help me out with as little as $1 a month, and any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching again. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.